You had the election interference of the Biden raid on Trump's home, and then they follow that up, and of course Letitia James, who probably has national aspirations in the Democratic Party, well, I'm going to get in on this. Let's sue Trump based on these trumped up civil fraud charges. And of course the abuse continues. There's no president in the history of America that has faced more government corruption, abuse, and harassment than President Trump. We saw it with Russia. We saw it with the impeachment for Ukraine, for his daring to highlight the corruption of the Biden gang and Ukraine's involvement in the Russia smears against him and being concerned about corruption generally in Ukraine. I mean, they impeached him for doing his job. And then they had the smears related to January 6th. They impeached him again, even though he wasn't going to be president anymore. And none of that worked, right? So now we're with the raid. But that isn't even enough. That doesn't seem to be working. You had the politicized Attorney General in New York, Letitia James, who ran for office literally promising to target Trump. She came into office and said, I'm going to get Trump and I'm going to find something on him, which is the complete opposite of what prosecutors are supposed to ethically do, which is if they come across evidence of a crime, they go after someone. You don't go after someone and then find some evidence of a crime because you don't like them, is what they did with Trump. So they filed this absurd civil lawsuit against Trump and his family, his 3 children, over valuations, arguing with him over valuations he made in getting loans and with various banks, all of which the banks made money on, so there were really no victims there. You know, it's a completely politicized attack on Trump. I mean, it was so bad, that press conference where she said yesterday or earlier this week, it's not the art of the deal, it's the art of the steal. I mean, how is that appropriate for a prosecutor to be making statements like that at a press conference? I mean, it was so political, I was surprised there wasn't a balloon drop and campaign signs. I mean, that's what that was about. I mean, and of course this prosecution or this civil suit was filed a little bit over a month before elections. So once again, you had the election interference of the Biden raid on Trump's home, and then they follow that up, and of course Letitia James, who probably has national aspirations in the Democratic Party, well, I'm going to get in on this. Let's sue Trump based on these trumped up civil fraud charges over real estate valuations. And by the way, if that's the new standard by which a New York Attorney General or anyone can come after a citizen, if that's the kind of the low standard, none of you are safe. Every mortgage application you have can be examined by some federal bureaucrat or state bureaucrat or prosecutor out to get you. And you get one number wrong, it's fraud. That's the theory here. So it's never going to stop for Trump. It's never going to stop. And similarly, Judicial Watch is never going to stop opposing and highlighting this. This is not about whether one likes Trump's specific policy proposals and such, and we can always have debates about that, and I got my views, other people have their views. This is about whether or not someone who is politically inconvenient to people in power is going to be targeted and harassed, have his civil rights violated in egregious ways, not because he did anything wrong, but because he has the wrong political outlook. And by defending Trump, we're defending everyone and rising to the occasion in terms of making sure that our government is unable to abuse anyone. And when that happens, we call it out. I tell you, if you're a Republican or Democrat and you're a political office holder, I don't trust this Justice Department to do anything apolitically. I mean, there's always a political component to what the Justice Department does, even when it's acting most ethically. but they can't be trusted to prosecute a jaywalking ticket these days. And what the FBI did to Mike Lindell, Lindell filed a lawsuit. He alleges that he was on his way back from a hunting trip. He and his buddy pull into a Hardee's restaurant. An FBI car zooms in front of him. An FBI car zooms in back of him, and one comes up along the side. 3 FBI vehicles. And they effectively detained him for 45 minutes, objected to him calling his lawyer. He had to push hard on that. They finally relented. And what are they going after him over? Essentially First Amendment activity related to his disputing the outcome of the 2020 elections. First Amendment protected activity. Concocting charges about changing records or touching a computer or something. It's a complete boulder dash. So this is today's FBI. So it's not just about Trump. Others are being targeted and abused as well. The great Biden suppression and oppression. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.